President Biden is visiting Surfside, Florida today after that deadly building collapse. Surfside officials are temporarily halting operations due to structural concerns of the remaining tower. 18 people have now been confirmed dead. 145 are still unaccounted for 1 week after this deadly collapse. Trevor Ault with me now. He has more on the ground in Florida. So, Trevor, thanks for being here. What do we know about this pause in operations?
Well, Deirdre, we know that we're now about 9 hours into this pause at a time when every second, every minute of this search and rescue is crucial. And we had some police officers tell our ABC News crews this morning, a little bit after 2, that some rescue workers had heard some cracking. We now know from officials that the cause of this pause is beyond just hearing some noise. They say that they have actually noticed some structural shifting, a column that moved 6 to 12 inches, as well as some sliding on the south side portion of the building, on the base of the building, too. And they say right now, according to their structural engineers who have been on this scene analyzing what is still left standing of this tower, that right now it's not safe for their emergency rescue workers to be inside continuing their search, at least right now. They're going to continue to analyze that structural integrity. The fire chief here on scene said he's optimistic for being able to resume at some point, but he has no timeline right now. And right now, Deirdre, President Biden is now here on the ground. He's been giving a briefing with Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis. They've been talking about how they've been working together. They're frequent political foes, but right now they've been complimentary of each other about how this has been handled. The governor said the president recognized the severity of the situation right away and that he has not been, there's been no bureaucracy. President Biden says this is Florida's show to run, but he thinks he's quite sure the federal government can pay for the search and rescue. The problem is, of course, right now there is no search and rescue that's happening. And there was a lot of concern, including from some family members heading into the president's visit, that his presence alone was going to disrupt the search and rescue even a little bit. They did not want to take even a chance that it could slow down those search efforts. With now a week later, if anyone who has survived this building collapsing on itself, the time is crucial. But now we're 9 hours into this pause, and there's no sign on when it is going to resume. We have families of still 145 people who are unaccounted for, and they were already searching for every slice of hope that they could. Now, instead of hoping for rescues, we're now just hoping for resuming the search and rescue, Deirdre.
Yeah, Trevor, and this is such a difficult decision for officials to make. I mean, you and I were listening to the press conference this morning, and you could hear it even in their voices. I mean, this is really a delicate call for them to make between searching, where, as you say, every single minute is really important. On the flip side, they don't want to endanger the fire and rescue teams, the rescue workers' potential lives. How are they striking this balance?
Well, they're striking it very delicately, I think, or at least as carefully as they could. You were right, Deirdre. You could hear in their voices that they are reluctant to pause this because they know how important it is to continue that search and rescue, and they have stressed for days that they are not going to give up hope here. Of course, we've known from the beginning that these rescue workers going inside, tearing apart that debris, originally they were going in from underneath the building. They were putting their own lives at risk by trying to save these lives of others. At a certain point, though, I think that all of these officials know you can take unnecessary risk and amplify what is already a horrific tragedy to a point that it would push beyond even what we have suffered so far. And they just say that right now they cannot take that risk so far. Though they did stress they are still not giving up. They are still analyzing this building continuously so that they can determine when it is safe to re-enter. They're not saying we're going to figure out whether or not it's ever safe again for us to continue the search and rescue. They are still looking to analyze it, make sure it's secure, and go back in. They are talking about it as if it is a matter of when they can go rather than if they can go. But this is coming from people who have been defiant and stressing that they're going to continue to be hopeful through this whole situation. We have heard from these officials that they are counting on miracles at this point. And really all that the city of Miami and the city of Surfside and everyone across the country can do is just be hopeful, Deirdre.
Yeah, we did hear the police and fire, or rather the fire and rescue chief say he did use the word optimistic, but to your point, Trevor, he didn't give a timeline as to when they could pick up. What will the president be doing in Surfside today? We know he's there with the First Lady.
He has a pretty extensive, lengthy schedule, Deirdre. He's scheduled to be here for about 8 hours, which for a presidential visit like this is actually quite a while. But we know that in the middle of it, he is scheduled to meet with families of those who either survived, those who have lost loved ones, those who have loved ones who are still unaccounted for. And he doesn't have anything scheduled until 3 hours after that. It doesn't necessarily mean he'll be spending that entire time meeting with them, but it is quite a while where the president could be offering his condolences or support toward these families. And what we know about Joe Biden and his history is beyond politics. This is a president who his very essence is largely shaped by his own grief, Deirdre. We know that President Biden he lost his wife and child when he was much younger. He then lost his son, Beau, to cancer. He talked about how that grief shaped him when he was running for president. And we've seen in instances of tragedy how he's deeply affected and how he does like to connect to these families. So we know that at least part of his visit today will be speaking with those families who are going through a heartbreaking tragedy in a way that he has gone through something similar himself. Beyond that, he's been meeting with Florida officials, local officials, and at least in this briefing so far, because he just arrived here very recently, he is insisting he is only here in a supporting role, that this is Florida's show, that he's just making sure that they have all of the resources and the backing that they need, and that he's quite sure the federal government can pick up the tab for whatever they need to do here. A lot of it, though, is just going to be supervision, and it's still even up in the air, Deirdre, whether or not President Biden will be visiting the scene. We heard from an official that he likely will, but that was sort of up in the air because before the search and rescue was paused, there was concern that the president's visit, taking a president anywhere can cause quite a stir or even a disruption. The Biden administration and local officials offered lengthy assurances that President Biden's position here would not disrupt that search and rescue effort. Of course, right now, there is no search and rescue effort to disrupt. But if we were to be fortunate and get to a position where the search and rescue could begin once again, it is likely President Biden would not be getting anywhere near it out of wanting to make sure that he wasn't disrupting what was happening, Deirdre.
Trevor Ault, thank you so much for your excellent reporting. We'll continue to count on you throughout the day. Trevor Ault there for us in Surfside, Florida.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.